if you've got your sonar set right and your transducer right, well, 4,200 feet per second. I don't know how many miles an hour that is, but that's a lot. I've marked fish consistently up to about 61, 62 miles an hour. Do it all the time at 35 to 40, all the time.
I have a question. Let's say you got a cheap black and white unit.
Okay.
Put in fish ID, fish ID or no fish ID, because you're not going to see much.
No fish ID.
No fish ID?
No fish ID. And zoom in on the area that you think the fish are. Get the best detail out of that low-quality unit. Get the pixels working in as small areas as you can. Okay? Win the 50-50 and buy a unit.
What type of transducer? I mean, is that like a one on the back?
I would tell you this, even you guys in giant boats, okay, and again, I am a sonar nut. I can't, you can't get my sonar away from me. You take them away, I'm not going fishing. I just don't care, because I can't see. What's the point? Okay? If you want your units to work at high speeds, the transducer has to be on the back of the boat. You're not going to get that kind of reading on a through haul, because once you get up on plane, usually those through hauls aren't where they need to be to give you a good high-speed reading.
See, some of us are running inboards and stuff like that with propellers in front of it.
Yep. I got 3 buddies up at Linwood that have 24 to 30-foot boats with inboards, and we've got them on the back of there. Yep. It's the only way to run at high speeds. Best way to see at high speeds. Okay? Talk real quick. Give me 2 more minutes here, guys, and I'll be done. I want to talk a little bit about the side scan stuff. Now, I run Lowrance stuff. Humminbird has a side scan too. Just want to kind of talk to you a little bit about what it is, so if you have it or thinking about it, you can kind of see. It's actually really cool. I thought it was a gimmick, but I get sucked into gimmicks like every other fisherman does, right? I kind of thought it was a gimmick until I actually used it on the water last year. I'll tell you a real quick story when we're done here. Looking at a side scan screen, this is actually what this is. This is your boat right here. Okay? This is where your transducer is. This is the bottom of the lake. This is the bottom of the lake. So the distance from here to here is the same that you're seeing looking on your regular sonar. Are we okay with that? So this is the bottom directly below your boat. This is the bottom directly below your boat. So you got to take those pieces and kind of fold them in. All right? This is the bottom directly below your boat. This is what's going on to the right side of your boat. This is the bottom directly below your boat. This is what's going on to the left side of your boat. Okay? So if you look at it, okay, that's what we're looking at. A is our boat. There's our transducer. B is the bottom directly underneath our boat. D is the bottom directly underneath our boat. And then as we move out to the side, C is off to the right side. From here to here is E off to the left side. That's what you're actually looking at. So you got to kind of fold that in half and kind of think about it the way Jim's folding the piece of paper. Okay? This kind of makes it a little clearer. Here's the boat, bottom underneath the boat, bottom underneath the boat. If you take those 2 pieces and slap them together, that's what it looks like on the down scan. So that tree right there is actually that tree. It's unbelievable. Some of the stuff I saw, when we figure out Lowrance is coming out with a new sonar view, you can actually see the sonar logs. Some of the stuff we saw in the Detroit River is amazing. Found 2 sunken boats. Found an old sturgeon net that they used. Didn't find Jimmy Hoffa. I think I had him hooked once, though. Okay? This stuff's really cool. Now, again, I thought it was a gimmick until Jim and I and a friend of ours went out fishing the Sunday before Thanksgiving last year. First day I had it. I didn't get it till late October. Put it on the boat. First day I ever used it. We went out to Saginaw Bay. We're trolling. And I've got all these waypoints out on Saginaw Bay. These little clusters of waypoints where I've always caught fish. Okay, good spots. We head out there. We run our boards out. Just getting ready to get into a cluster of waypoints, and I'm watching the side scan. I'm kind of playing with it. Like, hey, look, there's some gravel over there. And all of a sudden, poof, we catch fish. All right. So we drive a little further. We're in between gaps of waypoints, so I'm just kind of playing with everything. And all of a sudden, our indicator, our position indicator gets right into the next pot of waypoints. Get right in there, and I've got gravel. I go, man, look, there's gravel on both sides. Boom, 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 triple. These fish are fishing this great big giant 20 to 22 foot sand flat. It's probably 500 acres out in the middle of Saginaw Bay. I fished it forever. I've got all these waypoints. These fish we're 8, 10, 12 feet down over 21 to 22 feet of water, right over top of the gravel spots. I always knew there were fish there because my boat was always on those waypoints. Didn't know that out where my boards were was just gravel. So the first time I get a free day on Saginaw Bay, I will go out with my side scan and I will drive that flat and I will mark every single one of those gravel spots. Now I'm going to guarantee you when the fishing's tough, when I go hit every single one of those gravel spots and you're trolling in a straight line for 5 miles, I will kick your butt. Because I'm fishing where fish are. That's what your sonar can do for you guys. Don't care what you fish for, don't care where you fish, don't care how you fish. That's what it can do. Okay? All right, any questions? Mark?
Which unit do you currently use right now?
I have an HDS 7 on my dash and an HDS 5. On my dash, I have an HDS 7 for sonar, and HDS 5 I run as GPS. I have another HDS 5 in the dash I use for my gauges, and on the bow of my boat, I have an HDS 7 for sonar and HDS 5 for GPS. Oh, I'm a nut. I'm an absolute electronics nut. Nut.
Like if someone's just starting out.
All right, if someone's just starting out, let's back up a little bit. I don't want to get into the Lowrance Humminbird fight. I don't want to get in that fight. Let me back up. Lowrance does not pay me a penny to run their stuff. I buy my stuff off the shelf just like you do. They do not pay me a penny to run their stuff. It's what I run. It's what I've ran forever. I have seen the other stuff, used the other stuff, watched the other stuff, worked with the other stuff. I still run Lowrance stuff. I don't want to get into that argument. There's lots of things we could talk about off to the side if you want to. I am an electronics junkie. And here's why. I run multiple units for a couple reasons. First thing is I'm on the bow of my boat fishing the Detroit River, right? I catch a fish, I want to save a waypoint because I'm driving from there, not from the console. So it doesn't do me any good to have a fish finder or a GPS back there, right? So I got to have stuff on the bow. The other thing I do is I am a waypoint junkie. And the last piece of advice I'll leave you with this is, listen, every single fish you catch, save a waypoint. Every time you catch a fish, save a waypoint. You will be surprised after 2-3 years what that data starts to show you. And if you pay attention, like Scott said and Mark said, you keep good records, you can start to go back and go, man, look at this. Every time the weather turns crappy or the wind blows from the east or north, these fish are right tight against the drop-off. Every time the wind blows from the west or the south, these fish are off the drop-off. Your GPS will tell you that. Your GPS will tell you that. So I want to see my history and what happens today. So what I do is this. Again, we're going to talk a little crazy here for a minute, so give me a little bit of time. On my 7-inch unit, I run my sonar and I run split-screen GPS on it with all of my history. So if I go to Detroit River, I have all my waypoints from the Detroit River for the last 3, 4, 5 years in my machine. Numbered and symboled so I know what they were when they happened. On my GPS, I have nothing. Same thing on the bow. My sonar unit has a little bit of GPS, has all my history on it. My GPS unit by itself has nothing to start the season. I have my stuff all hooked together through the network, the Lowrance Net network. I catch a fish, I save a waypoint, goes on all 4 machines. Now look what I have. I have today's stuff in with